When you open up and actually like look at a lyrics page, you're like, Jesus Christ, I'm crying. I see people throw this guy in the hyperpop sense where it's like, oh, Meat Computer is just like hyperpop. Like, no, the difference between Meat Computer and hyperpop is anyone can go make a hyperpop song. They can try it, and we've seen so many artists already go down that route. But you can't make a Meat Computer, Jack. You just can't. Hi, my name is Garrett. Thank you so much for tuning into this channel. Today we are talking about Meat Computer. Meat Computer is an artist who comes by way of Canada, and he's just been taken over by storm. It seems like his style is so easily identifiable once you're accustomed to it. But that's the thing is it takes a second to really understand what's going on here. It has the outer shell of like a traditional hyperpop song, but when you really look deeper and you start actually listening to the lyrics, sometimes you get caught off guard and you're just like, wait a second, there's a lot more going on here. When I first found this guy, I got fucking just so obsessed to the sense where I had to see what the fuck was in this guy's brain. I tuned into a lot of live streams, and the way that this guy is just portraying himself, the things that he is making important to be said is such a fucking movement, or at least it can be. And I think what he's doing and what he's trying to do and what he's succeeding at is a whole fucking lot, and I'm excited to see how this progresses into the future. But today what we're going to be doing is checking out probably 3 of the most popular go-to Meat Computer songs, complete with music videos. So if you're interested in that, I hope you do stay tuned, and I hope today is the day that I earned your subscription. That would be awesome. But Meat Computer, man, there's something so interesting about how he is doing it, and I don't really know how to serve a perfect description on a platter to you other than by just jumping into the very first song. And without further ado, here's the music video for Sold Out by Meat Computer. Like, if you're wondering why I have it all set up like this, it's so you can read the lyrics, because that's very important.
Meat Computer.
So when it comes to Meat Computer, it's very easy to like take it at face value and just look at this kind of like hyper realized cloud rap outer shell that is very, very obtuse and sometimes hard to follow if this is an introduction. Like, if you are just now finding this and you're clicking on this at random, like, you could be caught off guard for sure. But when you look at actually what is being said here, that's where the whole fucking thing just pops in your face, and you're like, hold on. There's like an agenda here, and there's real emotion, and the way that he's streaming it out of his brain is so interesting. He's talking about loss at the beginning and his family, and then he's talking about how he's dealt with it. Now he's trying to fit in for like some sense of normacy almost, like, and that's something that I think a lot of people can relate to. But the way that he is putting it forth and the way that he's laying it out for you is so goddamn personal to him that you can't help but just take a step back and be like, oh my God, thank you. Like, thank you for putting shit into words like this, because like, it's easy to just say like, I am going through this and this sucks. But the way that this whole package comes across, it's almost like it's so subtle, but when you open up and actually like look at a lyrics page, you're like, Jesus Christ, I'm crying. And it's so well done. And the difference between, like, I see people throw this guy in the hyperpop sense where it's like, oh, Meat Computer is just like hyperpop. Like, no, the difference between Meat Computer and hyperpop is anyone can go make a hyperpop song. They can try it, and we've seen so many artists already go down that route. But you can't make a Meat Computer, Jack. You just can't. Like, as much as you try, it will not work.
I like this new generation of music.
And this like Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts style beat that just again is so lofty but also has this awesome 808 that just comes in interstitially. But again, like the lyricism and the things that he's talking about, like especially when I've watched this guy on live, like I've seen this side of him where it's almost like he's making a point to like let things be aired out in ways that like you cannot see in the music industry when it gets to the point where it's more industry than music. And that is something that I think the world needs. I think that's something that like the youth could use as well, even if it is like very obtuse and like there's a part where he says like I might have an ulcer in my stomach and I might be gay, but I don't want to fuck a dude. Like that thing was just like what the fuck. But then he like goes in and brings it back to like how he's in this like fucked up, probably small town, a lot of snow perhaps, culty like subsection of probably this rural part of Canada. I don't know exactly where he is, but I'm just trying to put into like perspective that if you made this music in like Nebraska, like you would definitely be, or if you're having these thoughts or this like high level of creative artistry and you're in like Nebraska and you're on a farmland, like I could understand where you're looking around and just being like, well, what the fuck? Like what is wrong with me, quote unquote. But there's nothing wrong with this guy because the way that he's at least able to like provoke these emotions like on a pen with the paper and like on a paper with the pen, like I don't know, man, like. Or maybe that's the secret. Maybe Me Computer's using paper on pen instead of pen on paper. And I don't know. Have we ever thought about that? I think Me Computer has. Just throwing it out there.
I like this new generation of music.
And that, my friends, is Sold Out. One of the probably best music videos of the year, without a cap, without a doubt. That this is probably one of the more important songs of the year as well. That and arguably Eyes Wide Shut, which I just realized both dropped within 2 days back in May. So this guy, and just this past month, he actually made a whole fucking mixtape, which is very, very good. It's this one called The Soulless Bundle of Sound. And right here says Made in One Day Part 1 mixtape. And he was like up for like over 24 hours trying to get this thing like conceptually like completed in a way. I mean, I don't know what his tweets were just crazy that day. I just remember it was like no sleep, just work. Like we're going to get this shit done. And it's a 15-minute EP and it's fucking really good. Or mixtape, whatever he wants to call it, but have to shout that out. This was all made in one day. And that shows again just the high levels of talent that this guy has. It's boundless, and where it's going to go is like the most exciting thing to me. Next up is Eyes Wide Shut, which is, I think this is the one where it gets into like some like higher power conspiratorial like type of things where the people at the top are definitely not good people, and a lot of the shit that they maybe are a part of, whether it's like child trafficking or just the shitty lies that we're always told, whether it's through media or etc. This guy definitely is putting a fat magnifying glass on that. But again, just the way that he's packaging it is, it's so fucking interesting to me, and it's so hard to put into words. But other than just saying like, go listen to Me Computer. Don't sleep, my friends. Do not.
You're on the air almost. Hello, Art. I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm a former employee at GARRETT City, and
I like this new generation of music.
Like, it's so easy to just nod your head, but then you look and it's like, what if we're all slaves? Like, fuck, dude. Like, he gets into this shit and he doesn't fucking shy away from it, and that's where it gets dangerous as far as like, how does the marketability from this like exist to a certain point? Like, Sheck West, I think, as I mentioned earlier, like, followed this guy on Instagram, became like kind of integral, I think, into getting a lot of like bigger kind of artists looking at him, at least a little bit. And the wave and just the flood of shit that I'm sure he's getting now is wild. Like, the blow up is awesome. And I just, again, we're gonna see where the fuck it goes, because it's going up. It's going the fuck up. Again, do not sleep. But when you think about how Me Computer can play in that game and like play in the industry, like, I don't know how that works when you're making songs like this, or you're talking about shit and you're very like happy to like send a message out there. It gets super interesting. Like, the whole metaphor of like winter won't stop is just so sick, but also it scares the fuck out of me when you really think about it. And you know, I'm very excited because this guy is like a chameleon. This guy is so talented. Again, one whole mixtape in a day, and it's fucking very good and easily listenable and replayable even. But again, like, I don't know how that works when you start playing with the powers that be. And a lot of these people who, you know, he could be collaborating with or could potentially collaborate with are more or less owned by a greater good or a greater business like the industry. And I don't know where his piece in that whole puzzle is, but I think it's an important piece. And it's almost more important that he makes his own puzzle, like, outside of there. And I don't know. It's so good. But I'm so interested to see what 2021 brings for this guy. And I hope it's nothing but leaders and leaders of success.
I like this new generation of music.
There's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now. They're not doing. They want the major populations.
Me computer.
And like the editing.
So that the few that are left will be more easily controllable. I started getting...
Yeah. Like, it's so good, but again, especially, I'm glad that I let that ride out. What I was gonna say is that Me Computer's editing style as well, because he edits a lot of his videos, complement the flagrance of some of the, like, and the flair of some of these beats, and they really can stand out as like their own character in the music, and doesn't always just feel like it's ripping off, again, like that cloud style. And like, again, people will say hyperpop. It's not hyperpop, but like the poppy, airy, cloudy style beats that we see infected across rap. I think that like this adds the right amount of story and the right amount of like additions to the genre, to where you're almost losing sight of it. But when you watch it visually, again, like the editing style of the music videos is what really takes this to this crazy level and crazy point. God damn, Eyes Wide Shut is so good, man. So good. Last but certainly not least track, we got Me Computer, Running Away From Myself. This is debuted on a Starry and is you know, doing some good numbers. But Me Computer's going to be one of those guys where it really takes off, and all this content's going to be there, and people are just going to be infected by it. So I expect that to have a lot more views in 2021, no doubt, especially the last two videos, because those ones, in my opinion, have a lot of weight in the importance of like the story of Meet Computer. Like, it really tells you a lot of context about who we're dealing with here, and I think it also just is some of his best outings. This song is good as well, but this is Running Away From Myself. The music video debuted on a Starry. Meet Computer, do not fucking sleep. Do yourselves a favor.
Generation of music.
Me computer.
I don't know about
See, this song, like, this beat per minute is just wild. And the way that he's still, like, it's so interesting because, like, Me Computer, at face value, again, you may not easily understand what is being said, but when you read along, it almost just comes together and, like, the full picture. Like, yeah, that's exactly what he's saying, and I could almost sing along if I knew these lyrics. Like, that is beautiful. That alone is art. Like, that's some high-level concept shit. But when you really look at the lyrics again, man, you just break down and I'm like over here bouncing because this beat is just fire and it really like ramps itself up. And then I just realized that this track is called Running Away From Myself. So that literally is what it sounds like. You're just running in a circle. Like, I don't know. There's something so like high level on this shit where you're just like, bro, like, where is this coming from? But I'm so happy it exists. Like, I'm just so excited for this guy because this is the shit. This is like probably my favorite artist that I found all of 2020. Is just 2020 gave us Me Computer, and I'm excited to see where this continues. Again, I'm a broken record, but I'm just elated with just how fucking good this shit is.
Everybody wanna feel something, while still doing this, trying to feel nothing. Is this fate, though? They joined this, I'm faithful, though. Is the world stop? We would like if it did, but I not.
And I usually hate when they have like when people use long interludes on like a 2-minute track and then you're just like, oh man, like I want to hear you go in there and like sound off like full on, you know what I mean? But with Me Computer, it's almost like a point where you're able to digest and reflect on what the fuck you just experienced. And it really, like, again, the visuals, man, they just set into picture like how like basement level this is. Like, this is only the bottom, but like he's performing like it's the top, and you have to always just put your hands together for that shit. Like, whenever someone can present themselves like this, like, and you just feel the artistry bleed out of it. And I don't know, man, there's something just bravo Me Computer. You're the guy, my friend, and you're here to hopefully save us all. Fuck, there's one other mixtape that he's put out. There's a bunch of like mixtapes, I shouldn't just say that. Will Never Sell My Soul, Social Distancing from Reality, or Social Distance from Reality, Soundtrack to the End of a World. I've heard Social Distance. I've heard Social Distance and Soundtrack to the End of the World. I have not heard of Perk Nowaskowitz. Oh no, it's just a freestyle. But I haven't heard that, so I definitely gotta go check that out. But there's plenty of content. Just go ahead, and I think he even did like a dump one of these days recently where he just put a bunch of stuff on streaming. So there's a lot of content on just Me Computer on whatever platform you prefer to listen to music. Go ahead and treat yourself. But those 3 videos I think are just the staples, like the brick building. Like, we got the foundation. Let's see how fucking dope this house is once it's built. You know what I mean? And that's what we're here to do. That's what I'm here to remind you. Do not fucking sleep on Me Computer. If there's one thing you got to do, go into 2021 with a little Me Computer in your playlists and treat yourselves. If you're a fan of Me Computer, if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comment section below. Which of those was your favorite track? What is your favorite track by Me Computer? Why do you like him? What is up? Let me know in the comment section below. I really appreciate you guys checking this channel out. If this is the first time checking it out, I do reviews and reactions and the occasional just creative video that comes from my brain. I got a big project dropping before the end of the year, so if you'd like to check that out, it's been a few months of editing and just planning and shooting, so that's going to be very fun once that drops, and I hope you guys are here for it. And if today is the day that I earned your subscription, thank you so much. You can follow me on Twitter at YoGRT, YOOGRDT, Instagram as well. Now in rotation on those 2 platforms as well. Go follow Me Computer. Do not fucking sleep. Wake the fuck up. Do yourself a favor. And that is all, you beautiful folks.